Hello and welcome everybody to Phillies Unfiltered. Along with Brent Tracy, I am Jim Russo. You know what I have to say? It's a little bit dreary weather-wise here. And then speaking of dreary, there's the fighting Phils. Not a good week. How are we feeling, Brent?
Not a lot of fighting going on in the
Not
Phils.
at all.
I am displeased. I am disgruntled. I'm every kind of dis word you
Yep.
can think of right now. It's not good. It's not good. But I do want to say at the top of this, real quick, before we get into all the negative stuff, and we have a lot of negative stuff. I want to say happy birthday to Calder, my son, my oldest child. He is 7 today, and
Happy birthday.
just happy birthday, buddy. But yeah, Phillies not so great, not thrilled. What about you? I mean,
No.
I'm sure we're in the same.
I mean, I felt pretty good Monday, and then
Yeah,
the rest of the week happened, and I texted you yesterday about to get swept out by the Pirates. That's like the lowest of low. It's almost like getting swept by the Rockies, but not as bad. But it's
pretty
it's pretty
close.
bad. It's
Yeah,
pretty bad. I mean, like they at least have one stud pitcher in Skeens who we've pitched well against. Like our starting pitching's doing great
both
against
times.
both times.
Yeah,
It just unfortunately a couple unlucky breaks
their
and
offense is a bunch of AAA players mostly. I mean,
yeah.
honestly, if it, on our team, they wouldn't be on the big league club. It's and nothing against them. They fight. They take their opportunities. But in terms of the talent pool, we are far more talented on paper, and obviously did not show it at all. And it's frustrating.
And there's only a couple guys that actually have been showing that fight,
Yeah.
like
Tr-
and that talent in the last week.
yep.
1-5 on this road trip, and that is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
And so this should have been at least 3-3. I
Four
mean,
and
I would have
four
been
and two. I think they
four and
should have
two.
been,
Like
but
at
yeah,
the end, I would have been fine with 3-3 if it like,
right.
hey, we lost two in Toronto, and if we had taken two in
Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Pittsburgh, I'd be content.
yeah.
But five in a row, we've lost five in a row.
It's
This is a
not good.
problem.
Yeah, it is.
It is not. It is not good. And there's a good bit of bad to talk about this week, and there's a couple points that we'd like to discuss as well from the developments of this week. A couple one new face that we've seen, and
Mm-hmm.
a new face again this week. So let's first go into our studs and duds. Was quite the dud of a week, but we had some players that had stood out a little bit. Who do you have?
So my stud is Ranger Suarez.
All right.
Ranger has been. I'm just going to kind of go through a few numbers here, but in this past week, he's had two starts. If going back to last weekend, 13 innings in those two starts total. Only two runs allowed in each of those outings, which is fantastic. And he's gone at least 6 innings in all of his starts this year, aside from that first one against the Diamondbacks, which was obviously a catastrophe, but that was his debut after being injured. Since then, he has been really solid. His ERA is currently at 2.70, which is, again, great. He just looks good. He looks confident. He's pitched really well. He's giving them a chance every time out right now. I
Yeah.
love how he's pitching. I mean, all the starters are pitching well. Aside from Luzardo right now, I feel good about the starters right now. But Rangers leading the charge right now. I really am thrilled with how he's pitched. So yeah, Rangers my stud.
So I have to agree. Rangers looked excellent. I mean, in his start on Saturday, it should have maybe only been one run allowed. I
Mm-hmm.
really hate Weston Wilson diving for a ball that was 15 feet away from him. It was so far away. He had no chance. He should have took a better route and
Yeah.
cut it off instead. Kept him at two rather than three, and possibly it was a 1-0 game going into that late inning home run for Davis
Yeah.
for the Pirates, which he could hit a good pitch at. I mean,
That
he could put
that
a
was
good swing on a pitch on the outside.
That wasn't Rangers' fault. That was a good pitch.
No,
He
it
went
was
down, and
it's
not
like
only did he go down and get it, it was on the outer part of the plate, and he hit it to
and
left center field,
he
basically,
drove
or
that
was it right
ball.
center? It was left
It
center,
was
I
left
think.
center. It was left
Yeah,
center field,
so
the deepest part of the park.
he's a strong human. That guy,
So give him his credit.
right?
Ranger has been excellent. Uh, like side stud, I guess you can say. Like Bomer's been doing well. He's
He's
really brought it up. That average has come up, and his defense. He's playing well at first base right
he in third base. Honestly, when he's been
now.
at
Yeah,
third, he's been making some good play. I can't complain about him right now.
yeah,
He's
right.
he's he doesn't have the power numbers, but he is getting hits, singles, doubles, and
But
and in the field, yeah, he's making the plays.
so,
He's doing way better than Trey is with the glove.
so the problem with Bohm is that the people in front of him aren't getting on base as
Right.
consistently as they should. Outside of Trey, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, so he's not really getting much of a chance to drive in some runs. Hated that he swung first pitch in the top of the ninth at the last game against the Pirates. But that's what he does. He swings
Yeah.
early, and he thinks he's got a pitch to hit, and unfortunately, he hits the top of the ball and just drills it into the dirt, right into the
Right.
ground. So it is what it is. That's what you expect. But I give him a little bit of credit. That average has jumped
Yeah.
drastically. So that's good to see. As
Absolutely.
far and we got a long list of possibilities here for duds.
Oh yeah.
Go on, go on.
So I was thinking about some offensive players, but honestly, to me, that's a collective problem. So I'm kind of
Yes.
giving away what my con is going to be. But the dud for me is Jordan Romano. He has
Okay.
had 3 appearances in the past week. He's had 1 run allowed in each of those appearances, which is a huge problem for a late inning reliever. Um, and 2 of those 3 were game-winning hits or runs, that led to the game ending essentially with the Pirates one and then the one in Toronto. Um, he's just not he's just not getting it done. And I think we talked about this. I'd be okay with him being a 7th or 8th inning guy if you have a solid closer in the back end of that pen because I think he might be okay, but I really think he's a head case. I think he's got a lot of
Yes,
he gets in his own head about
you can
these
see it.
things and it's affecting how he approaches pitchers. He doesn't approach them with confidence. He falls behind them, then he lays just a fat fastball that's got no jump on it right down the middle. And any major league player is going to demolish that, and they have been. I mean, they've been squaring that. I thought that was a grand slam. The one against the Pirates. I thought that was going out of the
Mm,
park. The one that Kepler. Not that it mattered that he caught it, but I thought that
right.
was going to be a grand slam, but it just ended up being a really long sac fly that won the game.
Right.
So that's my dud. I mean, he's been on this list too much this year. This he's been the dud too many
This
times. I think
early
it's been
on too.
it's been 3 times at least for me that I've given him the dud status.
It's
Yeah,
at least, and we've been doing this studs and duds. It's only what 10 weeks, 12 weeks, something like
something like
that.
that.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's he's had too many opportunities to be on the dud side, unfortunately. I'm gonna go offensive.
Fair enough.
So just so that way, because it's that you're kind of giving away my con too. But there's so many different guys to choose from. Kepler not really doing much.
Nope.
Unfortunately, my guy Bryson Stott is
He's
hit quite the lull. I mean, I'm so glad the glove is still there, but he just not.
the glove's always going to be there with Bryson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just I mean, there's times where they're hitting the ball hard. He's hitting the ball hard. Kepler's hitting the ball hard. It's just not going anywhere. It's not getting through. I mean, Kepler hit one off of Skeens today that
Yeah, I saw
sounded
that.
great.
Yes.
Just
Just died.
nowhere.
Yeah.
It died in center
Yeah.
field. Like he's better. He's got to be better than that. He's
Hmm.
hitting low 200s, and at this point, I'd be fine with parting with him in some way, shape, or form soon. He is this year's version of Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a little bit
It's
more
just,
production than Witt did, but the
but
problem is the expectation was higher on Kepler. So yeah, you needed to get the higher
it's.
level of
I
production.
mean, tomato, tomato, right? Like it's hard. It's hard watching him right now, and like we expected something out of Merrifield last year. We expected a bunch of hits that he never got. And Kepler,
Right.
we expected a little bit more power and
Yeah.
production, and just not there. Like, hey, his defense is fine. It's
Sure.
serviceable out there. It could be better than serviceable, but he's not giving us what the offense needs.
Yeah.
And even like he's lower in the order, but he's got to get on base.
But yeah, it's him, it's JT. JT has
Yeah,
looked
it's
lost up there.
just center
Uh,
field in general.
Well, so the corner outfield defense has been fantastic, but the center field has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
Rojas of late has made some big plays. Marsh has had some blunders. it's inconsistent. But Rojas has had his moments of down too this year. So
Yeah,
I don't, but as far as the offense side goes, with Kepler, yeah, I mean he's not squaring the ball up enough, and he's not getting those not just the power, but like you said, the average needs to be way higher. Like I need to see 250 plus from
I
him.
was about to say 250 would be.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that, especially Nail if he can drive it up to 250.
right.
That's a pretty
That'd be a huge
solid
help.
couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, that's some more runs scored rather than one,
yeah,
2, 1. If you're lucky, you're scoring two at this rate with this team.
right.
Uh, but that brings me to pros and cons. I think both are pretty obvious, but let's see what you have.
So for my pro, it's got to be the starting pitching, which I think I
Yep.
kind of alluded to earlier. Outside of Luzardo, these starting pitchers are carrying this team right now. They're giving them a chance every game to win. Mick Abel, we got to give him his shout out to another
Yes, sir.
excellent start this week. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, didn't get the result, but he um, he has looked so good. I'm impressed with the confidence with how he's pitching to these guys. Being a young pitcher, it's easy to kind of get sucked into like nibbling around the edges and not challenging pitchers or hitters. But he is confident in his fastball. I love the way JT, or well, I guess Marchand has called him once and JT's called him
Yeah,
once now,
they've been
and I
called well.
yeah, they both done a really good job managing him. For it's tough to manage a rookie pitcher because there are I don't think there's nerves anymore. I think Abel knows he can do this
Yeah,
after two starts.
right.
And he's done a good job. Wheeler's out right now.
Yes.
He and his wife just had a baby. Congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
Um,
Yes.
but Zach, we need you back
He'll
because
be back. He'll be back on Monday.
right
He's gonna pitch on Monday,
we
which is gonna be a tough series anyway.
no more bullpen games. We have too many starting pitchers in this organization to be doing bullpen games. It
Yeah.
should not be a thing anymore. But yeah, for me, the pro, it's the starting pitching. Ranger Christopher Sanchez today looked really good. He was a little sharper today too than he's been in the last couple outings. He was
Yeah.
around the strike
Absolutely.
zone more. He wasn't walking guys as much. He had 9 Ks, I think, was it 9 or 10?
Something like that.
He did a really good job today. I was impressed with him. So
I mean,
it's
the
good.
last at bat for him today was for on Sunday was a little killer. Unfortunately, he
Yeah,
walked
but
Cruz on 4 pitches.
yeah, and
But
you don't want to put a
but he
guy
was
like that
gassed at
on.
that point.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I mean, as soon as he did, that the game was virtually over because
We know
the
we weren't
offense
scoring.
wasn't doing.
Yeah,
We weren't scoring unless we had a runner. I had the ghost runner. That's what we had
and
to
not
hope
no,
for
and
at
I
this
I
point.
don't even say that helps because I'm just going to take this. I mean, it's just. Well, I'll let you say your pro, but this leads me into my con. You go say
Yeah,
your pro.
yeah. Well, I know where your con's going.
Score, yeah,
My pro is also the starting pitching outside Jesus Luzardo. It's Wheeler's going to be fine when he gets back.
yeah,
Sanchez looked really good. Ranger, we've already discussed. He looked really good. And big shout out to Mick Abel, who's been excellent in his 2 starts. I think he got a little bit gassed early on at that fifth inning point. I would have loved to have seen six full from him, but he's been hitting the zone. He's throwing strikes. He's getting outs. He doesn't necessarily need to strike out all the time, but he's doing what he needs to do as a young player. He's showing that he deserves to be up here and to stick around,
yeah.
like Topper said. So that's going to be another topic that we're going to talk about. But go on. I'm curious to hear what you got to say.
For my cons,
Yes, it's for your cons. Well, yeah,
there's
we all know
there
it's
is
the offense on my side, so I'm just going to give it away right now. Mine's the offense. I'm going to lead it over to Brent.
yeah. I mean, you can't say anything else right now besides the offense. I mean, they have been asleep aside from Trey Turner, who's continued to keep that average at 300 around it, pretty consistently. And he got, double today. He's singles, doubles, triples. I'm pretty happy with how Trey's swinging the bat. But Schwarber has cooled off. He has looked really lost at the plate the last, especially this. He's been swinging at some really bad pitches. I just don't think he's seeing it well. Casty's cooled off a little bit, although he's still not in a slump, I would say, but he's just not as hot as he was. Um, JT, as I already mentioned, just looks really just not good up there. A lot of just lazy fly balls. That drives me nuts. They come up, swing one pitch, and then it's just a can of corn fly ball to left field, center field, right field, whatever it is. You're not putting any pressure on these teams. I think Skeens only threw like 18 pitches in the first 2 innings, or even less than that today. And I get it. It's Skeens. You want to get to him early in the count so he doesn't have that breaking stuff to put you away with, but you can't be going up there and hitting lazy fly balls in the first pitch or two
Yeah.
of an at bat. You're not going to win baseball games that way. And they just look like you said, Kepler too. He hasn't been Weston Wilson. I don't know what's going on with him, but the
He's
one redeeming thing he had, because we knew his defense was suspect, right? We knew that was something we might have to live with. But it was like, okay, but if he's hitting, and he usually does when he's up, he's usually been decently productive. He has looked completely different this year than he did the last year or two, and I'm done with it. I'm
yeah.
Kemp just got called up. We said we were going to talk about that a little bit too. His offense, I mean, in the first two games hasn't looked great. I mean, he walked once today, I think, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's
Yeah,
still
me
getting
too.
used to it. His defense has been better than I expected, though.
I
He
was
made
gonna
some
say
decent
that.
plays over
Yes.
there, and T-Mac pointed out he actually had some pretty good speed getting up the
Yes,
line,
he
running
did.
the bases. So too early to tell, but in terms of thinking ahead, which I like to do, and I know I probably do it more than you do to a point,
Yes, right now,
but
yeah. To a
but right
point.
now I'm thinking about it. He he could be the new third baseman if we let Bohm go. If we're trying to think about Aiden Miller eventually and moving Stott back to short, maybe turn to the outfield. If Kemp can get it going hitting, if shows what he can do with a bat here, he
That,
might be okay as the third baseman, and it would be a cheap replacement, right?
but I'm going to think here. Like if you, I like we mentioned T Mac mentioned the speed. Left field could be an option for him if you teach him right.
Yeah, but then where do you put Trey?
I mean,
I
right?
need Trey out of
Yes,
the infield.
I have
That
a feeling that's not going to happen, but it should.
Oh, I
Uh,
don't know.
uh,
I've actually no. I've heard and I've heard some things, some legit sources suggesting like
so,
Jason
so,
Stark types suggesting like
okay, well then
he may
fine.
be moving to the outfield because
I mean,
it's a problem. I mean, he's
so
not
we got
making
to
the
make
plays.
you got right, but if Kemp decides if Kemp develops into an offensive powerhouse in the major leagues,
Yeah,
I mean, you got to keep him up, and you got to find a place to play him. I'm still thinking maybe this year, like you can platoon him with Kepler, or if he's productive enough, you just start him over Kepler,
yeah.
um,
You can give him a shot. Yeah,
and give him a shot left. He can run down a fly ball most likely.
yeah.
I mean, he had decent speed. If he wants to play, he'll do what he needs to do.
Right.
So like he doesn't have room to make that decision otherwise, right?
Well, you also sent me that clip that of Turner playing center field years ago when he was with the Nats when he was I think at his rookie year maybe. Um, that's been an idea
Yeah,
tossed around. Put him out in center field because we haven't had the consistency
put him
from
there now.
Marsh or Rojas. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're not going to do it right now. No. And the problem
No,
with that position becomes
wish.
Justin Crawford. He's not. He's coming up at
Yeah,
some point, and he's your future center fielder. So Trey in center as a long term plan isn't really viable.
so he'll be he'll finish his career in the outfield somewhere.
Sure, and hopefully
So
it's soon that he goes there.
yeah, right. Well, hopefully he's not finishing his career
No,
soon.
no, but I hope the
Yeah,
last 10 years
his
of his
career as a
career are.
shortstop.
I hope the last. Well, no, how many? He signed an 11-year deal, so he's got what 8 years left after that. But I hope the
Yeah.
last 8 years of his career are spent in the outfield.
So hopefully it's offensively very productive.
Yeah.
That goes into our cons. I know you had something to say about the season itself. I'd like to hear your thoughts on where we stand now as a team and where they should be and could be.
I mean, look, baseball is a very long season. It's unlike any other sport. We know that 162 games. It is a long season, and you have to weather the storms like this, and then you get rewarded with winning streaks like we had a few weeks ago, right? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast with this. You have to just roll with it. And not it doesn't make it any easier to weather the storm knowing that these types of things happen,
Yeah,
because it's not fun to watch. You pointed out today that before we got on, I think you just like you said you didn't really pay that close attention today because it was Skeens and you knew the offense wasn't going to produce and they didn't. I had it on, but yeah, I was doing some other stuff too. I mean, I wasn't going to sit there in front of a TV and veg out for 2.5 hours watching them not
just
play
wasn't worth it.
baseball. But yeah, to your question, it's they're in a decent spot positionally. Like they're in the thick of the playoff picture right
They are.
now. They're they have the talent on the roster as far as the offense goes and the starting pitching goes. I mean, the bullpen. We've mentioned this. They need some help in the bullpen. I mean, there's
They
there's
do.
there's no getting around that. They're going to have to get another arm or two in the bullpen, especially the back end of that bullpen. But they have as talented a lineup as there is in baseball. It's always about execution with this group. It has been that way for the last 4 years. They just have to execute. They have the skills, they have the talent, they have the experience now. How many runs has this team made into the playoffs now? I mean, this will be the fourth year if they make it that they've gone into the playoffs. So they know what the
Yeah,
postseason is. They know what a pennant race is. They've all been there before. I don't have any concerns about the skills or the talent. It's just about executing. It's about coming through when when it matters most, and that's what they have. That's what they have not shown yet. Harper being out is a concern right now, but I think that that's
yeah,
more of a cautious thing where it's like they want to be careful and get him fully healed because there's no reason to rush him back right now. They're in the middle of the playoff picture. They're not in the cellar. It's not like they started like the Orioles did, where they
yeah.
just dug themselves into a hole and they have to win. They have to go on like a 15 out of 18 or something like that to get back in the. They don't have to do that. They had their run that got them, a lot of wins. I think they won 22 out of 28 or 29. The Phillies. That
Remember, I
was
said
a
like I said
good
20 out
run.
of 26 was an expectation, and they
Yeah.
did. It's
Yeah, no,
pretty
no,
much that.
they did. So no, they're in position, and you got to remember, we're only in the beginning of June here.
It's
It could be a month from now, and we might be in a completely different mindset. They might be on a high. They might, you know what I mean. You just look what they were doing 2 weeks ago. Granted, it
we're
was garbage teams that they were playing, but they just got swept by one of those garbage
we're
teams. So
right. We're. I mean, they're just barely over 60 games
right.
into the season. There's still almost 100 games left. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of winning left to do, which they
Sure.
can. They put themselves in a good spot to win another 53 games, put them at 90 wins. Like
Yeah.
it's very possible still. I mean, there's going to be some easy teams, quote unquote easy teams. They're not professional, so they could still beat you at any time. But you still got games against the Marlins. You still got games against struggling Braves, for instance. You got games
Yeah.
against all these other teams that are like basement type teams. Like they're going to turn it around. They just need to beat up on these teams that are under 500. They should have won a couple games this week, couple
Yep.
against the Pirates, and unfortunately they clearly didn't. But there's some improvements to be made, and they're going to make those improvements. I hope. As far as bullpen goes, they are going to need that help. I did see a couple times this week that the Phillies are expected to be seriously aggressive. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, at the deadline, as far as bullpen help goes, and potentially center field help. I guess if they're not planning on bringing up Crawford, but like somebody like an Aroldis Chapman is somebody
I
that
saw
they're
that.
currently looking at.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a fireballer. That's somebody that they could use.
Yeah,
Um,
and he's got experience. He's
he
older, but
does.
I don't know that that's a
So
terrible thing because he's been in these tight spots
mm,
in the postseason before, and he still can
yes,
throw it. I mean,
yeah,
he can still
still
hit
hit
hit.
102, 103.
Yeah, so I'd take a chance on him if you're not giving up the farm for him. If you're
Yes,
only it would depend on the deal, right? I'm not giving up one of our big prospects. I wouldn't give
yeah.
up any of our top five guys in the
Yeah,
minors for
I'm
him.
not giving up Painter. I'm not giving up Miller. I'm not giving up Abel. I'm not giving up Crawford. I'm not giving up what's it
I
Tate?
wouldn't give up Ty
Tate?
eight. I wouldn't give him
Yeah, Tate.
either.
Tate.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not giving. He's my next. He's next on my list here. Like I need. He might be making an appearance sooner than we think. We're gonna when we
Marshawn
have a
has picked it
discussion.
up. Marshawn has
Yes,
picked it up.
I'm talking about the old age of the current starting catcher.
Right, JT. Yeah, that's going to
Yeah,
be a tough decision
that's
because
good.
he is making it really hard to justify re-signing him, and it's a
Yeah,
shame because he's a
he's a,
gamer. I mean, he
yeah,
got
he's
hit in that tough
yes,
spot we
Yes, he
won't
did.
a sensitive area. And you and I
Yeah.
were texting. I think we were saying our wives were asking like simultaneously asking us questions. Like, and my wife was like, she's like, is he going to get sick? Is he going to throw up? And I'm like, I don't know, but he's definitely nauseous right now. I'm telling you that.
And mom's like, it doesn't hurt that pain. I was like, that pain goes up through your stomach.
Right?
It
Yeah.
does not feel good at all.
And he tried to get up like four times, and he just kept collapsing. I felt bad because
Yeah.
we've all been there to a certain point. Maybe not getting a foul ball to, but we've all felt that before, and it is
Yes.
not good.
Yes,
So,
that's
but no, he's a tough guy. He's a smart guy, and he calls the game. But his physical
he does.
capabilities seem to
He's
be waning a bit,
finishing.
and I'm a little
He's
concerned about it.
yeah. I mean, Marshawn's picked. Yeah, he has picked it up a little bit, but we have somebody in the waiting, and maybe that will be a
Possibility,
talking
yeah.
point, in, like much later on. Not this season, but much later
Right.
on. But as far as the team goes in the here and now, Topper mentioned that Mick Abel is going to be sticking around for a little while, and I'm
Hmm.
happy with that because his starts have been excellent, and he's showing that he belongs at the major league level, and he's keeping his control in line. He's hitting that box. He's not way off all the time. He's not walking guys. Like that was been his crutch in the minor leagues throughout his entire career is that he walks too much. His control is not there, and
Yeah.
it's been really good. I can't complain at all.
Yeah. No, he that was it. That was the last 2 years. That's what I kept hearing is that he can't control his pitches. He doesn't have command, but he has looked really good and confident. I keep using that word, but he just looks
Yeah,
confident,
that's
and
huge. No,
I think the innings will come. I think he'll get deeper and deeper into games as he gets more experience. I know you pointed that out as maybe like literally the only not concern, but remote
he seemed
downside to
tired.
him
Yeah.
is that yeah his endurance isn't quite there
So,
yet, but I'm fine with how he's pitched, and I'm glad he's going to be sticking around.
so you think like adrenaline is probably there for him, and like all he's probably feeling a bit more like it's more high leverage that he's in the major league. So maybe it's a bit of nerves and he's draining himself too quickly. But
Could be.
I,
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch him pitch some more. So good for you, McAble. Keep it up.
Yep.
Uh, so with McAble staying for a bit longer, that means Aaron Nola is out longer as well.
Yeah.
So him being shelved for an extended time is concerning as far as his long-term health because he's never been a guy that's been out like this.
No, this is
Uh,
very unlike Aaron Nola because the one of the big things with him is was durability and health. He never got hurt that I could
no,
remember.
no,
So
he didn't, and so yeah, he was going to throw. He was going to throw a bullpen, and he felt his pain in his side. Like he's probably overcompensating at this point because he's not used to being injured, as far as we
right.
know. So he's trying to compensate for the ankle, not trying to hurt that again, and he's probably turning the wrong way or just he's
That's
turning
a good
just too much.
That's a good insight. You could be spot on with that. A lot of
So
times, I think that's what happens. Players do they overexert another part of their body
right.
to preserve the
So
obviously injured part.
the problem is there if it continues in that path, we just don't want it affecting his arm.
Right.
That's what we don't want at all. But so get well soon, Aaron Nola. I know you haven't had the strongest season, but we need you too. We need the Aaron Nola that we've seen that we know that you can be.
We need
So
to have
hopefully,
we need to have weapons ready to go for the
yeah,
playoffs,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
need to have you might need to throw Aaron Nola out there during the
yeah.
playoffs, even if you have all these other guys, because you never know how deep a series is going to go. You never know who you might have to just throw in there because you need innings out of. You just
Yes,
don't know. You want to have
right.
your cannons ready to go.
Yeah, but put R5 against anybody. Though still,
Oh
either
yeah.
way, even with Nola in there. Speaking of injuries, I know you had mentioned uh, a little bit ago about Bryce wrist inflammation. He's on the 10-day IL, but apparently it's been affecting him all season, and he had the pain last year, which is where the concern is growing a bit because it came back all season this year. It was fine in the off season. Um, what's the deal? What's happening?
I mean, I heard that too. Yeah, that he's been dealing with it for going back to last season, and he kind of been playing through it, but he doesn't want to risk further injury at this point.
Yeah.
Bryce always seems to find his way back, though,
He
to the
does.
lineup, and I think he will. I think, you know, I'm glad he's getting the rest now. I am really tired of people using him as an excuse as to why they're struggling. That's just nonsense. You have outside of Bryce, that is a scary lineup too. Like even if taking him out of that lineup, Castellanos, Schwarber, Turner, Romuto, Kepler. I mean Stott. I
They
mean
can,
like these.
they
This is
can
a
be quite
lineup.
dangerous.
It should be. I mean, there's enough firepower there that they should be able to continue winning games at a decent clip without him for at least a little while. And I mean, I can see come playoffs because he is Mr. Play. Like he comes through in those moments in the playoffs in a way that none of the other guys do. Not none of them, but none to the level. He just rises to the moment in a way that, other guys don't always
Yes,
do.
he
And that's just
does.
what he's built for. So I could get that. But we're in the middle of the regular season. Him being out should have no impact on their ability to drive runs in. I mean, you had Alec Boehm on third base
Oh God.
uh,
Yeah.
yesterday, was it? With
Yeah.
with no outs, zero outs,
And how many runs
and
they score?
they got no runs. That
Zero.
is that is inexcusable. In
Mhm.
no world should you come away with no against the Pirates too. All you had to do was hit a fly ball moderately deep to the outfield and you score that run. Even with Alec Boehm running, you're going to score that run. That's all they had to do. What did they do? I don't even remember the sequence of
There's a
events. I
strike.
just know there
There's
were
strikeout, pop out,
a light pop out and then
and
another
a
fly
ground
out. But
out. I think maybe. I
no,
forget. Yeah.
Stott hit a fly ball to center field, but that was
Okay, he
with
hit the ball.
two
All right,
outs. And I'm not, yeah, exactly. He hit the ball. I'm not going to blame Stott, but Romuto
but
had a terrible at bat
and
and hit a
Casty looked
lazy
at the
fly ball, and then
Casty
Casty,
looked at the
yeah,
pitch.
yeah. I don't know what he was looking at either. It
It's
was
like
right there. It
knees.
was,
Goes right at the
it
knees.
was, it was low in the zone, but it was a strike. You cannot take that pitch with two strikes.
Yeah.
I just that drives me nuts, and it's something that I've hated for as long as they've done it, right? It goes. I mean, this year they've actually been a little bit better at that. I was looking; their
Is it Brandon
numbers
Marsh?
are, yeah, but I mean, as a team, they've been a lot better about driving runs in when they have opportunities like that than they have in the last 2 or 3 years. But that was killer. Like that's an
Yeah.
easy run. You literally
Should
just
have
have
been.
to hit a fly ball, and they didn't like a deep. I mean, Romuta's was barely out of the infield. Um, you
Right.
have to hit it deeper than that. But that was ridiculous, and that kind of stuff is going to continue to lead to losses because it's an easy way to score a run and help your pitching staff. And that's the other problem we're going to see. If the offense continues to scuffle this way, the pitchers are going to start to feel less confident because that's
Yeah.
a domino effect.
Yep.
When you know you're not going to get run support, it affects probably how you pitch, and you probably pitch. I don't want to say scared, but more tentatively than you would if you know that your guys have got your back and that they can get. If you give up a solo home run when your offense is going good, you don't worry about it as much because it's like, okay, my guys will get it back. And when they're going well, they do. Right now, like you just pointed out, once they scored that run in the eighth, it was over. It was you
Yeah.
you knew
I
we
had no
weren't scoring
confidence.
again, and that's a problem. It will end the it will get back on track at some point when I don't know, but we will get back on track. But the way you get back on track is just do the little things. Like
Yeah.
stop trying to do the big swing. Just put the ball in play with a good swing and not just put it in play because we see what happens when you do that. It's just you can be a lazy ground ball or a fly out. But just square the ball up and as long as you're driving the ball, eventually things are going to go well. If you're hitting the ball solidly, eventually you're going to start getting hits and
Yes.
runs, and that's just got to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
went in with no confidence in that ninth inning at the end at the Sunday's game. I mean, Trey hitting a double was nice, and then nothing.
yeah, he roped that too.
And
He got a
then
good swing on it,
and then they
and
intentionally walk Schwarber, and
mm-hmm,
Bo ends it in a double play.
yep,
It
yep,
is what it is. I do think they're going to turn it around. It's just not
yeah,
enjoyable right now. It's zero fun, sir. So
yes, yes,
right,
Petey, it's zero fun, sir.
right. Right now. Speaking of fun, somebody that has a lot of fun, and I thought was giving us some excitement this week, and when he got pulled from a game is Justin Crawford. I just want to
Yes,
touch on him a little bit. He got pulled from a game. He was like 3 for 3 in that one. He's hitting something around 350. He's like 340
he has
something.
Yeah, 340
That's
something, I think. That's insane.
that's ridiculous. I mean, and even
Yep.
in the minor leagues, that's really good. I hear people saying he puts the ball on the ground a lot, but he's got elite
When you got
speed. People
speed,
need
yeah.
people need to realize, even if it's Major League Baseball, you hit a chopper to third base, you hit a chopper to shortstop, you hit a chopper even to second base, depending on how it is. You can beat that out.
Yep.
Specifically, I mean, Justin Crawford can beat that out. Like we
Anybody
haven't seen
remember
this
Juan Pierre?
yeah, Juan Pierre. Like we're gonna see a guy in the next couple of days that can beat out a play like that in peak Pro Armstrong.
Oh
O'Neill
my
Cruz
God,
could
yeah.
probably beat something like that out. Justin Crawford is going to be up there in your elite speed, 99 on your MLB The Show type speed
Yes. Yeah.
player. He's going to get a lot of base hits on the
Yep.
ground, and that's what we need. That's exciting to me. He's going to be on base. He's get the infield single in the top of the first if he's going to be a
Yep.
leadoff hitter at some point in his career, and he's swiping second. He's swiping third. Not a
And he's
problem.
running balls down in the outfield. He's got a Gold Glove
Yes,
caliber
he's
defense. He
and he,
he also hits lefties. I've been
yes
tracking this.
rakes lefties.
But you know what he does though? He doesn't pull off. He lets the ball get deep in the zone and just takes it to
Good.
left field. And
Drive it the other way.
that's what Stott does when he's on. But the problem with this now is Topper's getting too into the left right thing. I think Stott would be doing better at the top of that lineup if he'd consistently get starts and it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
based just on left
Oh,
right. If you just let him get those at bats, he'd be gaining more confidence because I've seen Stott look great against left-handed pitching when
he did
he's
the other day
just
against one.
yeah, but all he's when he's doing that, all he's doing is taking the ball the other way. He's letting it get deep and he's going left center, left field with it because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to throw the junk off the plate and he just sits back and does that when he's on. But the Crawford seems to be always on doing that. So I agree with you. We were both really excited because it looked like that's what was happening.
Please, please,
I have no
please.
no idea what the point of that was if he wasn't injured, which it doesn't appear he was. So I don't know what the point of that was. I want to see him up there. And
Me
I
too.
think if this muddling continues because it's not like Marsh and Rojas have been abysmal all season. It's just been way too roller coaster in terms of neither have reached a super high point, but they haven't been as bad as like Weston Wilson, with the hitting or I don't know.
And at this point, I know he's young, and the Phillies have a history of not bringing guys up
Right.
that are young. You know what? Give him the chance. I don't think it's going to affect his development as much as
No.
other people think. I think if he gets this experience, it's going to be a huge confidence boost that we believe in him. Like
Right.
we know he's the next guy. He is the guy that's going to help us go to the promised land. He's
Well,
that Shane Victorino guy that we've
yeah,
been looking for the last 15 years.
but the idea that they're talking about, and I don't know how serious this is, but the idea that they might go out and get an outfielder to play center field, it makes zero sense. If you're going to do that, call the kid up. Just call him up and let him
Save
try.
him.
He will not struggle as much as Marsh and Rojas. And he's going to play better defensive center field than either of them. Nothing against Rojas because he is a good defender sometimes. But this
Yeah.
year it's the decision making more than anything else rather than the physical ability that I've noticed. He makes some odd decisions sometimes.
Yep.
Marsh is just getting a little slower. I think he's had some serious knee issues and I think he doesn't get the best reads on balls, so combining those two things is like that drop in Toronto. That was a huge
Yo,
blunder and
that blew the game. That
it
ruined the
did.
game. That was
But
Abel's game
again,
that he would have won at that point.
Crawford catches that. There's no question in my mind
Rojas catches
Crawford
that.
catches that. Rojas probably does too. But the
I mean,
difference
but
is Crawford
lefty
hits the
left.
ball and Rojas.
Right. I mean, Crawford has got a better chance. He's a lefty. He's a left-handed thrower, so he's got that
Absolutely.
great glove too.
Yeah,
He's going
yeah.
to his
No,
right.
I think if you're looking to replace the center field position at this year, forget Luis Robert, forget going to get anyone. You've got a guy who is MLB ready right now by
Yeah.
all accounts. Like you said, he's batting almost 350 in AAA. That is impressive for anyone, especially a kid, because it's not like this is like a 26-year-old
It's
guy or 27-year-old guy who's been in there for 5 years. He's
right.
just got up here basically, but he looks
So
comfortable and he
yeah.
belongs.
So find me somebody out there that if you bring Justin Crawford up, find somebody out there that would complain if he hits 280 up in the major leagues.
Oh
He's
my God,
hitting
I'd take that.
350
Yeah,
now. If somebody complains, that's
yeah.
ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
like, come on, give him a chance. Let's see him play. Come on.
Well, and it's not like, look, like I know Aiden Miller got off to a bit of a rough start in
He's
Double A,
heating
but
up.
he's heating up now. Yeah, so yes, you do have to let these guys develop. You don't want to bring them up too quick. But Crawford has killed it at every stage of the minor league system, including the highest stage now. Um, I think by the All-Star break, they have to take a serious look at
Yeah,
bringing him up. I don't care about the MLB service stuff. They focus too much on that.
that's
Your
beyond that
your
now
job
anyway.
your job is to win baseball games as an organization. He gives you the chance to do that. And not only that, it's an excitement thing. This team is in a rut right now. Bring up this prospect.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll give you a jolt of energy. Remember what happened? I mean, Michael Harris, the year that the Braves brought him up, he was a huge injection
he
of
was.
energy for them. And look what he's doing.
And
He's an
yeah,
amazing center. How many
he's a
home runs has
mainstay.
he robbed
He's
from
a
us?
he's a mainstay over there now. He's really darn good. Like, I
He
mean,
is.
good for it. Good for Michael Harris, and that's what Justin
But
Crawford can be for us. Uh,
exactly.
and,
And I
and
think
and
even a better hitter
right.
because
I mean,
Harris has had his struggles, but
right.
defensively, that's
And
exactly what I could see
I've said,
Crawford being.
and if
Yeah,
I said to you, if he's any semblance of his dad, then we got a star.
absolutely.
And,
Yeah,
like, and
I know.
I'm ready. I'm ready for him now. I know. I said early on, my hot take was Justin Crawford will be the starting center fielder by the end of the season.
I
I'm
think
ready
it's still a
right
very,
now.
it's a strong possibility.
I've
Yeah,
had enough of Rojas and I've had enough of Marsh. I need this now. But I digress. We'll get it. I just don't know how soon.
I don't know
they're not quick.
either.
They're not quick enough to pull the trigger on this. I mean, I am glad we're getting to see Otto Kemp this week. He's been a surprise down in the minor leagues. Give him some more
Yeah,
at bats. It's his second game in the major leagues, and he got to see Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens, right?
So,
Yeah,
I mean, credit to you for getting
welcome.
a walk. Credit to you for
Right.
getting a walk today. Um, so we'll see him a couple more times in the lineup. I'd like to see him. Hopefully, when he's home in Philly, he can drive one
Yeah,
or two out.
yeah.
We'll go see
I
that.
do want as a quick aside. You mentioned Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, he's
Um,
exciting.
he is, but did you know his mom
Yep,
was the mom in Little Big League?
it was. Yes, I
I
for some reason I thought it was the mom in Rookie of the Year, and I even told Noah. And I
oh
was like, oh,
yeah.
I was wrong because I just had a Cubs connection. Like,
Yeah, no. So her name's Ashley Crow. I hadn't seen her in anything else besides that, but it's funny. I mean, got the red hair, like like it's kind
yeah,
of. And he's mentioned, he's like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. It's like,
yeah.
but that kid can move. He is fast. He's a good hitter. Very exciting. And again, that's the kind of thing. He has a little more power, I think, probably than Crawford does,
Oh
but
wow, yeah,
the speed and the glove and all that but you
and the
need that in
arm.
center field. Your center fielder needs to be your best outfielder. And right now, Castellanos is our best outfielder. Kepler is our second best outfielder. Well, I mean, Rojas is got the defensive skills, but Castellanos is more consistent. He makes better decisions than Rojas.
Yeah, yeah.
And nothing Casti has done that I can think of in the past 4 years has led to a loss in the outfield.
No,
Um,
I don't think so. He's made some pretty incredible
Kepler
plays for him.
Kepler similarly, he had like I think maybe one where he didn't call off someone and it dropped in front of him. Other than that, he's made some nice plays. But
So,
that center field spot has been a iffy at best.
so we have a tough week again. I mean, this series against the Cubs is going to be
Oh
difficult,
yeah,
but we'll have Wheeler out there. I would
and we're
imagine,
at home.
and
We're
we're
at
at
home.
home, so have a little bit of a boost. Let's cheer on our Phils and hope for a couple wins in this series, and then take a few from the Blue
Toronto.
Jays at the end of the
Yeah,
week.
that's a rematch. Pretty quick turnaround there. And
Yes,
I will be at the game on Friday night with Calder.
yes, yes. Ah, very
Um,
nice
so
birthday
that'll
present.
be that. Yeah,
Uh,
yes. So it'll be very nice. I'm excited for that.
I'll be at Xfinity Monday night with my
No.
neighbors and the wife. we were thinking about getting tickets, but we're just actually going to watch the game from Xfinity Live, and we'll see what
Nice.
that's like and experience that. I haven't done that yet, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to be in the vicinity because there's no better place in the world to me than Citizens Bank Park. All right, well, we are skipping guest at Philly this week, so we had too much to talk about. It was a lot of good stuff, so I appreciate the
Yeah.
conversation tonight. Brent, let's wrap it up.
Let's do it. So, everybody, if you want to listen to us, and we hope you do, you can find us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you would like to watch / listen to us, you can do that on YouTube at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast. If you would like to follow us on social media, you can find us on Facebook at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast, Instagram at Phillies Unfiltered, and on Twitter /X at Funfiltered, PHUNPHILTERED.
Very good, very well, very well, very well done. I appreciate that. Thank you. You kind of had a little cadence like mine.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I feel like this was a
Yes,
spirited conversation. Hopefully, you
it
enjoyed it as
was.
much as we did. It was a therapy session, just kind of venting about the team, and hopefully, the week ahead is better at home. Hopefully, we are treated to some comforts of home, and they pick it back up again.
Yes. So we'll see you again next week, and we're going to sprinkle in a few bonus episodes soon. You'll hear
Yes,
about those in the coming days. But we look forward to chatting with you all about it. But in the meantime, go Phils.
go Phils. Take care, everybody.
See ya.